Okay, I'm going to give a live essay. These things are essays as much as they are journals. Another try here. I'm going to give you, with this one, a link to a 2-hour interview of Jordan Maxwell. And for all of us that don't know who he is, he's a researcher, and he's been long interested in the occult, which means hidden, in philosophy, in religion, and in a lot of the things that someone like, well, he's a researcher into what's behind the scenes. He is the mentor of Michael Tsarian, and so maybe some of you will have heard of him. This is recent. It's from March 28th of this year. Now, there are a lot of people that don't want to listen to the dark stuff, and they want to be only light, and they want to think only thoughts of light, have only involve themselves only in high frequency. And okay, that's one way to live your life. I'd like to speak up for balance. And so that's what I'm doing here. There are many of us that are absolutely not called to, it's not our bliss to go delve into these things, to do the research. Somebody like a David Icke, a Michael Tsarian, a Jordan Maxwell, it's their bliss to do this. And the way I look at it, they do it for the rest of us. They, with their joy, tackle these things and delve down to the bottom and are delighted to ferret out the truth of it. And so Jordan has been at this for decades. He's an older man now. I don't know that he'll be with us all that much longer. And he's a voice worthy of being heard. So even though he's difficult to listen to, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about for a minute here. I'd like to challenge everyone who is of the only light variety, and I was that for any number of years, to have a look at your life with some hindsight and look and see if you don't find that for all of the very great highs you pursued, you experienced equal lows. I don't think difficulty is something that's avoidable here in 3D. I would take a step farther and say, I don't think we need to go out of our way to try to avoid it. It's just a balance. It's like, would you want it to always only be day or to only be night and never have the sunshine? It's not that one is good and the other is evil. It's not. It's just a healthy balance that you have the night and you have the day, and it's a good thing. Okay, that's the kind of balance I'm speaking about here. And I got to pondering this, and it's like, for the only light group, it becomes hard to process your negative side. It becomes hard to embrace the shadow. And I don't believe there's any real and true healing without doing that. We are the shadow as much as we are the light. We're a whole package. We're a package deal. We're not just one or just the other. I don't purport to explain it, just to find the healthiest way through it. And balance is critical to me. I believe balance to be the answer. And so when I'm in the midst of some really difficult feelings, maybe just torn up over something or another, I don't try to turn them off. When I get angry, I don't try to turn it off. I don't worry that I'm feeding some vampire-like thing on some other dimension. It doesn't, you know, although overall I know it would be better uh, not to feed or deal with anything negative, I care too much about myself for that. And if we pursue the only light way, then what we're doing is we're repressing or suppressing anything negative. We're suppressing our shadow. It's just not healthy. Maybe people need to know that there's an overall wonderful outcome for being willing to face your fears and your darkness. And there is. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's tremendous. Just look at the NDEers. Listen to what they have to say as they get, they tell about their near-death experience. It's grand and it's great and it's wonderful. And the dark isn't really so dark as we think it is. It's just not. It's just not. And it seems to be here and now. But what I find is that I do myself way more damage by suppressing my difficult feelings than by just letting them have a voice, letting them speak. Because as I let the feelings arise, the words flow, or the tears, or whatever it is. I mean, I'd say probably 90% of the tears I cry are tears of love, of joy, of overflowing, of good stuff, okay? But, I get mad too, and I cry too, and I have, like I shared recently, I recognize now that I've been in a pretty intense depression for some time. I just find it really, really healthy to let the shadow speak to me, because that's me in there trying to communicate with me. We can even look at it in terms of the inner child. I guess that's kind of old these days, but it can be a really useful way to work with yourself, because if you were terribly abused at a very young age, and if you never really healed from that, what that amounts to, or can be seen as, is that you've got a little child in there somewhere that's still hurt, that still doesn't understand, that still hasn't been comforted and been helped to work through that. And if you'll just let the negative stuff have a say, if you'll just listen to yourself, give an ear to those thoughts and those feelings, real healing can come, real understanding. At the core of everything is love with a capital L. It's divine love. And it's the cement that holds everything together. There wouldn't be any manifestation at all if it wasn't for divine love. And so no matter how crazy it looks on the surface, no matter how things seem, I'm saying get below the surface. Get deep into yourself. Turn your eyes inward and be willing to look at and listen to those things that maybe you don't want to listen to. Maybe you would rather watch a movie or anything, but lend yourself an ear. We're healing now, and in a way, we're being forced into it. It seems to me that frequencies are rising, and that's kind of a force play. And it's not like it's optional. Oh, I think I'll opt out of whatever this, latest thing is. It's just happening all around us. And so the rising in consciousness that some are calling ascension, it really doesn't have to be called that. It's just a physics, a kind of a rising in frequency that's going on, is not always comfortable. And I think if we want to keep up with it, we have to be willing to do some more embracing of the difficult things. What it amounts to is a listening to yourself, and what it can amount to is a listening to your higher self. We're being helped. We can't see our helpers right now. For whatever reason, our eyes only see a certain small frequency band. We're being helped. More and more of us are getting to where we can sense these helpers, even if they can't be seen, or sometimes there's a flicker somewhere in your vision, off and off to the side, you know. For many years, I've seen little specks of light that will pop into my vision, you know, to where they can be seen and then out, and they'll just stay there for maybe a second or two and then go, and they're almost always in somebody's aura, and at the time that person is in a good place, and they can be beautiful colors. I've never seen one that was multicolored. There's only one time I've seen something that was multicolored. Boy, I'm really just going all over the place here. But I remember seeing something that didn't even look of this world. It was so beautiful. It was about yay big around, or bigger, maybe 3 feet. And it was a sphere. And it was a combination of like a royal blue and a purple, or a violet, or something that we don't have here. And that's, well, okay, there's one other time. I don't know what the purpose of all this is, but I was saying my prayers one time. And this is back when I was an only lighter. And, you know, I don't regret it for a moment. It was a beautiful couple of decades in my life. And there were a certain number of prayers that we were supposed to say morning and night. And these were prayers for protection that I was engaged in, calling upon Archangel Michael. And I got tired. And so I laid down on my bed. On top of it, you know, I didn't tuck myself in, but I just laid down on top of it to finish them out. And as I did so, suddenly I found myself in a space that it was two colors at once, only it wasn't 3D. It wasn't anything you can see on 3D. It was like golden and pink. And so together, sort of, kind of, it was like a peach color. And the air and everything. See, I was inside. My eyes were closed. And so it's not that I was seeing this in the room. I went into another space, and the air and everything had this beautiful golden pink hue. And I was standing there in the midst of it, looking around and thinking, this is so strange, when I popped back out. I later learned that there was, or is, I don't know, this hasn't happened to me again, but there's supposed to be not just the heart chakra. There's supposed to be one called the secret chamber of the heart. And its color is listed as golden pink. So I figured maybe I just somehow popped into that space. Oh my God. If this isn't the craziest journal I ever did, I think I'm going to call it a halt here, because I forgot what I was talking about, guys. But hopefully, maybe this will at least provide some amusement for some. God bless. Okay, I guess I got over my embarrassment. Um, I'm just different, you know? It's just different. And the way I used to do this, whatever. Okay, so I was talking about being willing to look at the darkness. And what I think I want to say is that as we stand in heart, as we come from our strength and the strength of our being that's there, that's where all the magic is, that's where the portal is to, I mean, you're not in time space. When you're in heart, you're everywhere, every when. And it's awesome. What do they call it? You're in superposition when you're in heart. So if we're willing to be in heart and to greet the dark stuff as it arises and just listen, just observe it like everything else. Let it be. Let it say its say. Let it do its do. And just watch. Well, you're in heart, and there's the magic, because that's not just intuition central. That's the heart of love. There's a love there that's the same love that's on the other side from the NDE stories. It's a renewal and a refreshment of that, whatever it is, that I find when I listen to and tune into the people and their NDEs. Same love. We've got it here. We don't have to have an NDE or an OB. We don't have to die. Okay? We've got it here. And we can be in it and flow with it. And that's what brings on the tears. They will flow. And it's like the heart itself is so joyous that it just overflows through the eyes sometimes, you know, and not just sometimes either, but often. Love will do that. You have to get some distance from your day-to-day life to go into this, but it's really not hard. I mean, it's everybody's got it. Everybody's got a heart. Everybody's got a higher self. You know, we have all the equipment, friends. Let's get to using it. Let's get to having a higher vision of who and what we are and listening to our own higher self. That's what's going to make the big change here. Now, take your darkness in small doses at first. Kismet, honey, that's okay. No, no. Like the Jordan Maxwell thing, it's 2 hours. Listen to 15 or 30 minutes of it, you know. And if you find yourself getting out of sorts, getting upset, getting out of heart, don't just let it play. Push pause. Hello, you know, love yourself. And the thing is, these are things we need to know. Like it or not, there's darkness around. And if we don't pay attention, and if we do nothing but look the other way and do the only light thing, I think that's what got us in the mess that we're in. That's what enabled darkness to so completely take control of government and business and the rest of it. The banksters especially, you know, that's the core of the control system is the money. It's behind everything, the funding for everything. If you follow the money, I mean, that's the heart and soul of how we're manipulated. And we need to do the wise as serpents thing, you know. We're pretty good at the harmless as doves, but let's check out the wisdom of the serpent here. And snakes and serpents are part of the creation as well. There's nothing evil about them. I think it's the what's that? A mosquito is responsible for more deaths than anything else on the planet, including war and, you know, everything. So these are beautiful beings. So I'd like to put in a word for the serpents of the earth. You know, they don't deserve to be killed just because of some story in some book that equates them with a devil. Serpents are not devils, okay? They're just snakes. All right, and some of them are so beautiful. Have you seen those little lizards that have the brilliant blue on their back that it's like it's lit from within? Oh my God, they're so cute. Okay, all right, this is crazy. Okay, so if and as we stand in heart and just be and just watch from there and just listen. We don't have to go do all the research. We don't have to go delve into all this stuff because we don't want to and we wouldn't do it anyway. But I think we need to give people like Jordan Maxwell our ear so that he has done the work, done the research, digested all of this over like 40 years or something. You know, he's been doing this work. He's a man to be admired. And as he'll tell you in this interview, over the course of it, he's lost everything. So often when someone speaks for truth, that's the way of it, you know, because the dark forces don't want you doing that. And I'm not a believer in coincidence, okay? I'm just not. And so every effort is made to get someone like that to shut up. And the good ones won't. The thing is, love is the key. Love is the answer to every question, to every problem. Now, love isn't the huggy smoochy thing I'm talking about. Love with a capital L is divine. And the closest I think we can come to seeing how it will act is the love of a parent for a child. And anyone who's been a parent knows that love is sometimes stern. You know, love meets the need of the hour, whatever that is. Love is out for the very best possible outcome for all concerned. That kind of love. That's what we have. That's what we are from our core. And we can touch bases with that in heart. That's the place to listen to this difficult stuff from. Process a little at a time if you can. And let yourself feel your feelings, for goodness sake. You know, it's by embracing the shadow that this thing will be won. And the reason it will be won is divine love. How it will be won is divine love. And the shortest distance to that is to be in heart while you do this work. There. That's a reasonable conclusion. Good day.